into the playoffs. Green flags in the air.
Kyle Busch with a very nice start, getting out there to 4 or 5 car lengths. Brendan Poole giving way, trying to fight, as you talked, Jeff, on that non-preferred line early on the upper lane. Did a nice job, though, kind of trying to turn inside the 22 here. Brad Keselowski trying to take the spot back into turn 1.
Yeah, great job of fighting back and trying to take that spot back. Not a good start for Brendan Poole. Not the start he wanted. Kyle Busch into turn 1 a long ways in front. So now he's got to just be cool. You're racing against Cup guys. Don't wear your tires out. Run with these guys for a little bit.
And I think this is an area of each run that the little bit more veteran drivers, those Cup guys, are going to excel a little bit. As I say that, Brendan Poole turns to the bottom of the racetrack. But what I mean is at short tracks, we talk about low air pressure. They have to start really, really low, almost flat tires to get that grip. Well, these cars are very hard to drive early in a run.
Great battle for second, though, as Brendan Poole continues to look to the inside of that 22. But as he moved up the racetrack, I saw Dale Earnhardt Jr. look to the inside. Now he'll try to take the spot away.
Yeah, this 88 of Dale Jr., he's 3 for 3. His last 3 Xfinity starts here at Richmond, he's gone to victory lane, looking for 4 to 4 tonight.
Here comes Brad Keselowski. Looking to the inside of that 18, he has made up the difference. It was 1.1 seconds when we went away. And now Keselowski running that bottom line while Kyle Busch runs the high line.
And what makes this possible, Rick, is when we talk about short track racing, that's one thing. But this surface at Richmond is old. It's wore out. It tears the tires up. And some cars are better over the long run than others. And it looks to me that Brad Keselowski has one of those cars as he clears the 18 off in turn 2. Now back to the bottom of the racetrack, and we'll try to put some distance on Kyle Busch.
Allgaier making the move as he tries to get by the 48 and into the wall. There's the 40 sliding up the racetrack. Bobby Earnhardt.
Right here, I'll get you down. He didn't hit the wall. I think right front's down here.
Yeah, we saw the sparks.
Easy here.
We'll have to take a look at it and find out for sure from Goodyear, but it has all the makings of what we talked about. Perhaps that melted bead. The air came out of the right front tire. That's a little bit of speculation at the moment, and Goodyear will look at it and make sure they didn't run something over. But 52 laps into a run, it's got all the makings of a melted right front tire. You see right there halfway down the straightaway, tire goes flat, the car sits down on the suspension, the sparks are flying. The 98 right there does a really nice job. Casey Mears realizes he is in a bad place on the outside of this 40, gets on the brakes, slows down enough to turn past him, doesn't get collected. But yeah, Jeff, we've seen this before, haven't we?
I was going to say, if you've seen it over and over, I don't know that it's speculating anymore. I think it's pretty safe calling it.
Behind him, saw Elliott Sadler was on the move, trying to get third from Cole Custer. Jeb Burton moving forward. He's now in the top 5. Some real good energy here as we wrap up this first stage.
There's always such great stories on the short tracks, and watching Jeb Burton move toward the front, seeing Hemrick battling hard here with Christopher Bell. A lot going on in this race right now, and the 22 of Austin Cindric has climbed his way from last inside the top 10 now, so good run for him.
And what about Bell outside lane on a restart? Did that catch you guys off guard there? What are you guys thinking? We'll see the replay here. We've been informed no penalties.
Let's check this out. Looked like maybe a little bit of wheel spin there.
Spun his tires. Great call by NASCAR, because you have to have some common sense in those calls. And obviously they looked at that. From me looking at it, I saw the 21 beat him to the line. But looking at that replay, and Christopher Bell, he took off, spun those tires, and the 21 got a good launch, and that was a good fair call. So it's so hard to not spin the tires on the restarts. I mean, you just creep into the throttle in that restart zone, and it's kind of in the corner down there. So it's tough to get those rear tires to hook up. But that 21 car, you know, he hears the chatter about how everybody thinks.
During all the practices, Dale Earnhardt Jr. was watching the track saying, okay, keep running up in that middle line and high line. That's where I want to run. He wants to have at least 2 grooves, and that's where he's stuck right now.
Christopher Bell did not get through one very well. See, Allgaier is going to be all over him. Earnhardt Jr. on the outside of Allgaier.
Christopher Bell has that top spot. Allgaier in the number 7, that orange and red number 7. And he slides back to 3rd now as Dale Earnhardt Jr. has moved up to 2nd. Cole Custer in the 00, riding along with him. Still trying that high line, making it work. And holding on to 4th.
Cole right now, he's going to try to get back to the bottom. The top didn't work. See Daniel Hemrick right behind him. He's able to get in front. See Matt Tifft working the bottom.
Diving into turn number 1, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has the fender now to the inside of the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Can't get back to the gas as quick as Allgaier and still can't get by him.
So right here, Junior's going to go back to the middle. Allgaier saw it. He went to the middle. Now Junior's going to try to push that line further and further to the outside because Allgaier's taking his line away from him right there. So now Junior's going to have to look for something different.
Battle for the 7th position on the right side of your screen. Matt Tifft in the 2, Elliott Sadler in the 1.
Hello.
When do you make up ground? On a restart. Thank you very much.
Oh, so close. Spencer Gallagher shuts the door on Elliott Sadler in that 23 car.
Positions over and over and over in the Xfinity Series, and the outside line prevails that time. Kyle Busch gets the lead.
You said interesting move about Keselowski picking the bottom. I agree. I thought that was a very interesting move. I was really surprised he didn't pick the top.
So we talked about new tires as we're on board right here with Justin Allgaier, where you're going to see back there in the distance behind William Byron. Well, that is the 3 of Ty Dillon on fresh tires. He's going to turn to the bottom and easily take the 9-3 wide with Brendan Poole. He's passing 3, 4, 5 cars a lap. With 15 to go, he has his sights set on the front of this field at the stage end.
He's already made his way up to 6th.
And he's bringing Christopher Bell with him also. Christopher Bell also was on pit road.
Justin Allgaier turns down just in front of the 3, but it's not going to be enough. And the 3 continuing to chip away. Now Ty Dillon all the way up to 4th.
14 to go. How many laps did that take? 3 laps? Here you are.
Yeah.
And this is
4
why,
laps.
but this is why these cars didn't pit. Because now why this is impressive for Ty Dillon and Christopher Bell, they have used this set of tires. Kyle Busch and Brad Keselowski hope that these fresh set that they didn't use is going to pay off at the end of the race.
But they'll be able to do the same thing once they put their tires on.
But, you know, you let me know when the cautions come out. I'll let you know who made the right decision.
But what is Ty Dillon, what is Christopher Bell, what do they have to lose? I mean, what if you get a lot of green flag runs and now you've gained all this track position and they don't get to use that extra set of tires? What if that happens? Then this is a potential race-winning move. If it goes bad, they're not racing for a championship. They're not racing for the opportunity to hold a crown in Miami. They're simply trying to win this race tonight.
Mike, it looks to me like we've got 3 grooves that are drivable because we've got Tyler Reddick up there 3 wide on the top for a whole lap. So
look at, so close.
At the end of stage 1, the top 10 get points. Ultimately, you want to have as many points as you can at the end of round 1 so that you can advance into round 2. The last 4 drivers will be eliminated after the 3rd race of the playoffs. To get the win, you've got to go out front and lead. That's exactly what he's done. He's taken the lead away from Justin Allgaier.
Justin Allgaier has some trouble off turn 4. Bell into the back of the 7 car. Hemrick was able to get a good launch, and then that was turn 2 rather than right here. Just really good job of Hemrick keeping that car stuck on the bottom of the racetrack, and now he's driven away from Allgaier just a little bit. Now he can kind of calm down a little bit. We see the rotors glowing on Hemrick's car as well.
Cole Custer, one of the drivers doing double duty this weekend. He will start 11th in the Cup race tomorrow night. And right now running 10th and fighting to hold on to that 10th spot. Now Ross Chastain looking to break into the top 10.
I thought there would be a change for the lead while we were away. That's not the case. But as it turns out, we return to the action here at Richmond, and there goes Christopher Bell, high lane around John Hunter Nemechek, and Elliott Sadler not far behind.
I think Elliott wants the high line. You saw the momentum he had off the corner, decided not to dive to the bottom, liked what Bell did up there, but look how strong Nemechek's holding on.
Well, this is about the same time that Nemechek's car shut off in the first stage of the race. So it looks like about 30 to 40 laps is the spot where he starts to lose a little bit of ground. But if we come down to a short run, we saw that with Kyle Larson. His car is really good on a short run on the Cup side. You know, if you can get into those first 30 laps with the 42, I think he'll have something for him. But anything after that, it looks like he's just managing the car and trying to lose as few positions as possible.
I love Christopher Bell's car tonight. I felt like he would be really strong, but I've been impressed with Elliott Sadler. I thought he might have just been sitting there licking his chops, waiting for those others, leaders, Nemechek and Bell, to start slipping and sliding, and he would flex his muscle. But now that Bell's got out in the lead, I think maybe Sadler's got to push the button here. He needs to get going. I'm glad we're split screen here because I can't keep my eye on all the battles we're having on this racetrack. Just such great racing. Brandon Jones in the 19. He's starting to make a good run toward the front. Such an awesome run last week at Bristol. Looked like he had that thing in the bag. Had it get away late after some strategy on the last pit stop. He's rallying with a nice run here.
You see right there the 33 and the 4. They're racing to be the first car one lap down. So with 2 laps to go, they're going to race hard trying to be that first car one lap down.
Pit road is closed. 2 laps to go until the end of the stage.
And
Ty Dillon holding on to that lead.
Listen, I like this strategy of Hemrick. I don't think he's running as hard as he could be running. There's no need. You're not going to run those top 3 down. You might decide to stay out here. Don't hurt these tires. Run no harder than you have to run. There it is. There it was.
And around goes to 33.
That was the battle to get back in the lead lap.
A little contact was made, and the 33 goes around. Brandon Jones was running 20th as the checkered and yellow flag are displayed at the same time.
Lap traffic, Tyler Reddick just going to nose his way through. He finds the edge, and then he steps right over every time, I think, driver 9.
He is not afraid to put that car in any spot. I mean, if it doesn't look quite wide enough, he's going to figure out how to make it wide enough.
But he's like Bell, one of those open-wheel mentality kids, right? I mean, sometimes you load it on the trailer, sometimes you win the race.
Back to racing.
Fortunately for Brandon Gaughan, he's not going to be leaning long. These new tires are coming and coming quick. Now he has to somehow hold his position without getting run over.
And way up the racetrack he goes, and Christopher Bell stuck behind him. Brad Keselowski wasting little time working to the outside, trying to get by Ty Dillon. Daniel Hemrick out front, though.
And just like that, Christopher Bell lost all that track position in one corner.
Yep. How about that move right there at the bottom of your screen? Elliott Sadler was 4 wide. He's going to have to try to get back in line. That is a nice job entering so low into turn 1. I love these high shots. You can just see how much chaos they have. And then if you go from there right into the cockpit of Elliott Sadler and look at the work. I love this shot because you can see his hand, Jeff. It really shows working that steering wheel.
And points in general, definitely important as well. And that's what everyone's fighting for now. Every position is worth a point. The top 10 will get stage points. And again, the 4 lowest point totals at the end of the first round of the playoffs will be eliminated. Cole Custer lets the 42 by and now stays in the gas, trying to stay close to that 42 of Ross Chastain. Daniel Hemrick didn't want anyone close to him, though. After he got the lead, he checked out. 1.7 seconds separating Hemrick from Bell, who's running second. Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2.1 seconds back as Hemrick has started the final.
Doesn't matter to him. He's going to go get all of it.
Well, and that's fun to see because you can always rein them in and you know, and pull them back and teach them how to take care of their car. And and hopefully you can keep that speed in there as well as you try to pull the reins back a little bit.
Sadler in lap traffic just went around Ryan Sieg, who has scored just outside the top 20. Also put Chase Briscoe a lap down in 25th, and Hemrick 1 lap down, has fallen to the 26th position, but has not yet made a pit stop, dealing with that tire issue.
To the outside goes Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch is going to easily get by the 21 of Daniel Hemrick, and he uses the outside line.
But how about Daniel Hemrick? We've got the report from Marty. I mean, there is no question the second half of this year, Daniel Hemrick has started to show that he belongs in this Xfinity series. He has learned, he's applied. He's been in the front of the races for the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's starting to be a constant contender, starting to put himself in position over and over and over. And that's when you see that first win come. That's when it happens. So Daniel Hemrick doing a very nice job.
Kyle Busch clinging to that lead, Steve. The thing he said, Jeff, said the car is way too tight, so what he's had to do is slow down his entry into the corner to get it to roll through the center better. We'll see if that helps him hold on to.
Sadler's so hungry. We heard in the pre-race how badly he wanted to get to victory lane and how sweet it would be if it would be right here in his home state.
His kids gave the command, and if you can win the race with your kids giving gentlemen start your engines and go to victory lane with them, I mean, what a night that would be. So you know, in his hometown race, you know that Elliott Sadler wants this win so badly.
From Emporia, Virginia, and the whole family is here. Saw mom and dad, brother Hermie. Like you said, the kids were here. The track, knowing obviously that Elliott Sadler, a Virginia native, making his final start here at Richmond, saying thank you, Elliott Sadler, right there on the wall.
Learned how to race late models just a couple hours down the road at South Boston Speedway.
No, I'm here. Now, how aggressive will Brad be trying to take the lead and potentially getting the win here in stage 2?
Would you be surprised if these two got together? Kyle Busch got in the wall just a little bit.
He did, and that contact with the wall slowed him down enough. Just
Rutledge, understand you have a special guest.
You know what, guys? I found Bell and Mr. Sadler. They're sitting down here. They've been watching this race from just outside of Turn 2 from a golf cart for the past 20 years, and they found a cart. That's in Hermie's Faux Show golf cart. I know everybody down there in Emporia is watching this race tonight, but these two said they were going to find a place to watch, and they sure did. Isn't that cute?
The new leader in Richmond, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and that 88 has just taken the lead away from Christopher Bell.
Jumped on the outside of Christopher Bell, kept working him, and looked like Junior didn't have any rear grip, and caught Christopher Bell in a little bit of traffic and jumped the outside of him and drove right by him.
You mentioned it. Let's show it. This is how he got the lead.
You see, he just carried momentum through the middle of the corner, and right now Christopher Bell is in trouble. Junior's got the preferred line on old tires. He's able to just stay with him through the middle of the corner, and those the higher groove helps on corner exit speed and drives right by Bell.
And Jeff, this was a move of the old wily veteran.
It's going to be so hard to make this pass, though. We saw him having to put wheel into the car in the middle of the corner, and that just, the car, the front end doesn't want to turn. You don't want to make rear grip. It's so hard trying to make the pass on the inside.
With stage, you heard him when we talked about him after stage 1. He said, you know, I went a little too hard. I got patient. I had to wait.
Bumper clear, all clear.
TJ, all clear. This run right here, he just stayed behind Bell for all 45 laps, saving those tires, waiting patiently. Finally, when the opportunity opened, he got to the outside, easily passed the 20 for the lead. And look at that, 736 laps.
That's complete now.
Brad drove in really deep to try to get in front of the 18, slid up, didn't make contact, but it was definitely an aggressive entry. Will he be able to clear him here in the middle of 3 and 4? If not, Rick, it's going to be a drag race to the line. A lot of laps here at Richmond.
Did we just hear TJ Bell say door bumper clear?
Nice job.
I think we did, and I think he's a part of a show that's called Door Bumper Clear on occasion too. TJ the spotter there for Dale Jr.
So let's talk about this. I know Dale Jr. has won, I think, was it 27, 28 Cup races, Xfinity champion, but he's been out of the car for quite a while.
Yes.
And to be out of the car and come and compete the way he's competed is really impressive. It's not like riding a bike where it immediately comes back to you. I'm really impressed with Dale Jr. and his ability to qualify well, take the lead, drive away. Super impressive.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. leading by 1.3 seconds over Christopher Bell. Hemrick, Chastain, and Allgaier are in the top 5. Parker.
Well, guys, I think we should point out also that Dale Jr., as you mentioned, is working with his good friend and longtime spotter TJ Majors, who when Dale retired at the end of last year, moved over to the 22 team of Joey Logano. So when Dale announced he was doing this race, he wanted TJ to come spot. TJ told him, hey, you're going to have to go to the top of Team Penske for that. So Dale directly emailed Roger Penske himself to get approval for TJ Majors to come race with him. Seems to be working out, Kelly.
Of the playoff drivers, Bell right now the furthest to the front, running second. Daniel Hemrick third. Chastain is fourth. Allgaier and Sadler. And
although Kyle Busch wants to get back inside of Brad Keselowski.
So he'll take the spot back on the inside. And Brad Keselowski drops back to second. A great battle building between these two.
Which is obvious with that number 9 way up the racetrack.
Still even, outside corner, on the corner, still on the corner, still outside bumper, all clear, back.
That was a nice drive off of that turn there by Herbst in the 18 car, Adam. You could see him really get on the gas hard, but look at the run Reddick gets to the bottom, takes that lane away from the young racer from Las Vegas in the 18 car.
These guys start with such low tire pressure in their cars because they're all thinking about that long run. We know that first stage is 75 laps, so you keep the tire pressure down 3 wide off of turn 4 here. They're waiting for the tires to come in, so these guys are really going to kind of baby around, you would think, at this point, but it sure doesn't look like they're doing that.
When was that going to start, Chad? Because I've not seen 3 wide at Richmond in a long time, and this is a battle for the lead.
Outside lane, new man out front, 0-0 of Cole Custer, and don't look now, but here comes the 7 of Justin Allgaier. He's motivated after disappointment last week. Jamie talked about him. Tyler Reddick going in the wrong direction in the 2.
Great battle continuing to build here. Kyle Busch just in front of Brad Keselowski, and now the gap, nothing.
We've seen it all night. The 22 of Brad Keselowski has been better into the run on old tires. Well, now he's done it. He's run the 8.
Hard impact.
Are you kidding me?
He was running 14th.
This team, I cannot count the number of cars that this team has
The 16 hurt me.
crashed this year. He's talking about 16. That's his teammate, Ryan
I
Reed.
let him go, and he's got to race the crap out of me when I get back to him.
Talking about Ryan Reed in the 16. And now under caution for just the second time. This is the first time for an incident.
1 lap remaining. 2, and Elliott in position to get the victory.
You talked about reining a guy in. I spoke earlier about Noah Gragson. That's what they had to do to him in the Truck Series. But once they got him where he at the right pace, he's been really impressive. And looks like that's going to continue over into the Xfinity Series. He was able to run down Elliott Sadler.
And there's the problem for Daniel Hemrick.
Yeah, and there was enough camera angles on the TV. I really feel like the team could have helped Daniel make that decision with his tire being down. The right front tire was noticeably down, and he's doing everything that he can to try to stay out on the racetrack. And that car's lucky it's not tore up worse than it is.
And a wreck on the backstretch.
Ty Majeski with a big impact.
We got hit. 30 lap middle. 30 lap middle. 30 lap
Everybody
middle.
going by.
Oh, geez, that didn't pan out well.
I'm like you, though, Chad. I think 4 or 5 laps on tires, we know his are going to be better when he does pit, so maybe we'll see if it's a net gain at the end.
That's what he's got to shoot for. He wants to be better than 13th when it all comes around, and he's 13th right now, so we'll see.
And it isn't all going to come around for another 5 or 6 laps when he can get to pit road and get some tires on that car.
But we can see the delta right now. You know, you run 5 laps around Richmond, and you are really beating up your tires, especially as hard as these guys up front are charging. He's going to have fresh rubbers on there, man. He might do a good job.
He's stopped up in turns 1 and 2.
And if they haven't thrown it yet, I can't imagine that they're going to. He's just limping around off the corner. Meanwhile, Elliott Sadler going to come back here and see.
Sadler working to the inside of a lapped car. That's Joey Gase in the 35. Gase up in the 23rd. Elliott Sadler slides high, and look, talked about the short haul compared to the long run. Noah Gregson was all over the gas there.
Gregson to the lead, Bell to second, Sadler outside of 3 wide, and we thought the 9 of Tyler Reddick penalized. Evidently that's not the case, because he's up front and trying to make a move for the top 5.
Well, and Elliott Sadler did a great job right there minimizing the damage, Mike. He's you know, like we talked earlier, it's hard to get the car to turn because they probably got those air pressures really, really low in the car, and it just doesn't want to turn, which is probably why he's so good. One of the reasons why he's so good on the long run. So he did a great job minimizing the damage. He needs to get it back on the bottom of the racetrack right there and do everything he can. Oh, big wreck.
And Jeff, that's the thing. Just before the green there, he said, how far back do I go? It means, how far do I fall as we have caution on the racetrack?
And the 15 in the grass in the infield.
Easy on the gas, you got it.
That's Catherine Legg making her first oval start in the Xfinity Series.
Get caught up here.
She's running back in 30th.
And we'll take a look at what happened to her as she was coming out of turn 4.
It's contact. It's 3 wide off of 4. Doesn't normally work. Good restart.
And that's the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Was just thinking about Sadler and how tight the racing was and the advantage he was enjoying in regard to the dash for cash. And here's his teammate Justin Allgaier, who's also eligible for the big payout.
Looks like not much damage to the 7 car. See him there on the high side of the racetrack.
Ooh, just checked up.
It seemed like maybe with Spencer Gallagher scrubbing along the outside wall, maybe lost some momentum, and Allgaier just closed in on him real quickly.
It looks like whoever was in front of the 23 car came up in front of him and maybe checked him up so he did. Yeah,
scrubbed the wall.
Yeah, came up. The car in front of Spencer came up. He checked up, and then they all just stacked up there.
5th caution of the night on board here with Chase Briscoe.
Record, back it down, 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 back it down. Keep it up top.
Allgaier now scored in the 22nd position. Up front, Noah Gregson. What a debut for him in the Xfinity Series. Gregson takes the outside lane. Bell beside him, row 2. Sadler in Tift. Here we go once again. Sadler wants the top spot, making it 3 wide. Bell and Gregson side by side for the top spot. Here comes Matt Tift. Great restart here.
Well, and you saw those guys kind of pushing and shoving a little bit, and what that does is it starts the rear tire spinning because it'll kind of pick the back of the car up and make it light. So Elliott got a good run down into turn 1, and I think if he can keep himself in position, and these guys haven't made some good adjustments to their car, when we get about 30 laps into this run is when we are really going to see whether or not it's the same car that Elliott Sadler had in the last stage.
Won the Camping World Truck Series championship in his 2nd season last year. Bell coming up through the ranks like so many other successful drivers in the trucks for Kyle Busch, and trying to get his 2nd career win in the Xfinity Series here tonight. 3 laps to go for the Norman, Oklahoma native here at Richmond.
And there's several cars out there in front of him in traffic. You know, I know we've only got 3 laps to go, but if he catches those guys in front of him, it could be, especially since they're side by side.
One of those cars is Justin Allgaier. We know he's got good speed.
And John Hunter Nemechek.
He is painfully close.
2, 5, 3.
Hanging right around a half a second back is Noah Gregson. Went a little higher that time. Coming off of turn 4, they'll see the white flag. 1 lap to go. It's sponsored.
Good momentum off 4, Adam.
One last opportunity for Noah Gragson. Can he get there?
It's out.
Just racing for 8th and 9th position.
4 wide as they enter turn 4, or excuse me, turn 3. There wasn't room. And playoff leader Justin Allgaier on pit road, taking that car to the attention of his crew.
This is not what he wanted to see. First round of the playoffs reminds me of last week, right? Look at this car.
He can't even pull into his pit stall. He's going to try to
see all that
get
oil
in there
coming
again.
Out. All that oil coming out from underneath it.
Yeah, you're done. Just park right here. That's done.
So right here, Cindric has the 00 jacked up, and now they're 3 wide. 4 wide, just not enough room. Somebody, anybody could have lifted right there. The 22, the 00, the 7, they all kept waiting for the other guy to do it, and no one did. They all got in a bad situation, so 4 wide in turn 3 is just never going to work.
And the guy on the outside, Justin Allgaier, loses the most.
Christopher Bell with a good start.
Side by side as they go through 1 and 2.
Mission accomplished for Christopher Bell. Enter this corner side by side. Use turn 2 to clear him. Great
Bell
job.
has the lead.
Dale Jr. trying to go with him to Matt Tiff.
Dale Jr. running 3rd. Tiff up in 2nd. And all the way up front, Christopher Bell has taken the lead away from Matt Tiff. There's Daniel Hemrick looking to the inside of Tyler Reddick. Ross Chastain running in the 4th position. Christopher Bell, the 2017 Truck Series champion, trying to lock a spot in the 2nd round of the Xfinity Series playoffs on his way to potentially back-to-back championships. Truck Series last year and Xfinity Series in 2018. And what an impressive rookie year it has been. If he's able to add another win, he will join Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch, and Carl Edwards as most wins by a rookie in a season. And remember, there's a lot of racing still to go in 2018.
Ross Chastain. Oh, Matt Tiff way up the racetrack. Christopher Bell going to try to take advantage of it.
Christopher Bell. Cole Custer falling back right in front of the 22 of Cindric. They're 4 wide.
So here they are, 3 wide. I don't know. I'm not so sure that maybe Ty expected Ryan to be higher up the racetrack. Here it is. There it is. Ryan drives into the right rear quarter panel. Ty was right. Look at that car, that impact. I don't blame him for being upset. He held his line, and Ryan Reed did not hold his line and got into the 60. T. Ross Chastain, we heard him earlier in the race tell his crew, hey man, it's time to go right now, right? Which led me to believe that maybe he was saving a little bit. But how do you save right here with all this pressure around you? I just don't know how you could do that, Parker.
The 7, but maybe even a stronger one for Cole Custer in the 00 on the bottom. Was able just about to peek to the inside.
3 wide once again.
Said that a lot tonight, haven't we?
I'm telling you.
Keeping those spotters up on the roof busy. With all these guys making these bold moves.
You know, it used to be in NASCAR, you just have to make it to happen.
Has found a little bit of speed. It was actually a 1/10 of a second faster that lap running this high line. Christopher Bell, I'm pretty sure, is taking the safe route around, making sure he doesn't make a mistake.
And right of your screen, the 39 of Ryan Sieg continuing to drive to the front.
It's impressive. He's caught Cindric all over the back of him, and the battle for the lead, there's battles all over this racetrack.
Yeah, that 39 did a really good job. Over the wall too soon. Oh, we got a smoker down the back straightaway in the 51.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Clements.
And they were just on pit road, weren't they, Adam, with their hood up?
They were.
Justin Allgaier's got 5 friends on the racetrack. It's the guys that stayed out with him. How long can they hold up that pack? Look at that red.
Oh, fender damage. It looks like Bell's got it.
3 top.
Kaz Gralla looking for the race lead. Couldn't make the move to the inside. 3 wide behind him. What a mess this is.
Still 3 top. Left front tire up. Get a good look at it here, guys. Left front, inside 22. 3 mid. 2 top.
It's quit smoking somewhat, Chad.
Yeah, it's not bad. Sometimes, I hate to say it, the tires tend to clearance themselves. And it looks like he's moved up the track. He's got that place thing in a good spot. Oh, and he's going for another.
Look at that action.
And Cole Custer, who did come down pit road to the inside of Justin Allgaier. The tires paying off, 0 on point.
That could be the pass for the lead right there.
And Cole Custer going for the dash for cash.
Clear.
What about Zane Smith in that green number 8? He makes a nice move down on the bottom.
Only his 3rd career start.
That tire's going to go. I just don't see it making it. Do you, Chad?
Boy, Michael, I hate to call that one.
10 left stage, 10 left.
There it is. Oh. So it looks like Bassett spun the tires. The 08 ran into him, and that's what got into the 20. So that's just composite right there on the left front. I think he's going to be okay. I don't think it's going to blow that tire. They might be able to make it to the end of the race, but definitely losing some performance with that huge hole in the nose right there.
It looks like a mess, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's awful.
And the good news for them.
That 00 is just waving by.
He had a lot of confidence, Chad, about how that car was driving in practice. Look at those raindrops dropping on the windshield. That'll get your attention as a driver.
Hard to accelerate on those scuffed tires.
All clear.
Nice run on
middle, outside, 3 wide middle, 3 wide middle, outside and inside. Outside and inside.
Following the progress of Allgaier, outside on fresher tires. The 7's electric right now.
Loving it. Loving it. He'll be on the inside of the next car here going into this corner to turn 1.
You know, the lead for Custer was hanging around 0.7 of a second, and now it's grown to 1.3. Now, I will say this, Bell was 4 seconds back. He's now got his deficit down under 3 seconds, but it's just not going to happen at this stage unless Custer really has a problem. Vince?
Well, and you wonder, Allgaier had to be so aggressive to get up through the field to get to the position he's at now, how much abuse he put on those tires. He says right now that just not the grip that he needs to cut into that lead. But Allgaier holding steady at second. And of course, both of them have Allgaier and Custer with a set of tires left in the pits.
Serious.
Round 2, baby. Yeah, my friend. Nice work, man. Nice work. All night long, staying in the game. Good job on pit road, guys.
Christopher Bell climbs out of the car after that huge win, hands the flag over to one of the fans. Christopher, you did it, buddy. You are moving